dear, get used to it. Go. Let's get this party started.
Condition green. We've landed on
Yo, it's 3030. I want y'all to meet Deltron Zero, hero, not no small feat. It's all heat in this day and age. I rage your grave, anything it takes to save the day. Neuromancer, perfect blend of technology and magic. Use my rapping so you all can see the hazards. Plus entertainment where many are brainless. We cultivated the lost art of study and I brought a buddy. Automator, harder slayer, fascinating combination. Cyber warlords are activating abominations. Harmonation with hatred, we ain't with that. We high-tech archaeologists searching for knickknacks. Composing musical stem packs that impacts the soul. Crack the mold of what you think you rapping for. I used to be a mag soldier, but I didn't respect orders. I had to step forward, tell them this ain't for us. Living in a post-apocalyptic world, morbid and horrid. The secrets of the past, they hoarded. Now we just boarded on our futuristic spacecraft. No mistakes, black, it's our music we must take back. Yo, it's 3030. I want y'all to meet Deltron Zero and Automator. Yo, it's 3030. I want y'all to meet Deltron Zero and Automator. Yo, it's 3030. I want y'all to meet Deltron Zero and Automator. I'm feeling like a ghost in a shell. I wrote this in jail, playing host to a cell for the pure verbal. They said my sentence was equivalent to murder, just another hurdle. I bounced through a portal. I knew they had the mind state of mere mortals. My ears morphed to receptors that catch up every word about gravity control and the families they hold for handsome ransoms. On the run with a handgun, blast bioforms. I am warned that a planet-wide manhunt with cannons will make me abandon my foolish plan of uprising. Fuck dying, I hijack a mech, control it with my magical chance. So battle advance through centuries of hip-hop legacy. Mega speed, hyper.
I don't know why it's just like it's like why are you doing Deltron all of a sudden? So okay, let's talk about transmaxing, y'all. Wow. Okay, first of all, shout out to my brother-in-law who grew weed for several years and then became a father, and so had a lot less opportunity to smoke weed. Thank you. Shout out to Bevan, because this is nice. I've been told this is like a clear-headed psychedelic high, which is perfect for understanding this nerd shit. Now, I have to come clean. I'm not an incel. I'm in fact like a pussy-crushing Chad that just crushes pussy on the regular. I mean, we already knew that, right? But I understand probably that some of you out here, it's a difficult world we live in, a difficult world to find love. I'm sure that you may be unlike knuckle deep in it, buddy. I'm elbow deep. I'm sticking my hand out your girlfriend's mouth like, hello. All right, yeah. All right. Wait. Bevan? Yeah, my brother-in-law's name is Bevan. I don't know. What do you want from me? Bevan is a normal name. Guys, we can't get hung up on this. We're about to we have to dissect this incel. You're so weird. Yeah. It's Bevan. Hold on. Bevan. Actually, maybe Bevan isn't a normal name and I've just been fucking gaslit. Ah, yeah, I guess it's not. Well, his name's Bevan. Why'd you name him Bevan? He's my brother-in-law. I didn't name him shit. He named his damn self, I guess. Wow. Hey, Bevan, shout out to Bevan on the pod. Shout out. I told Bevan the other day, I was visiting my nephew, and I said, well, I make porno now. He's like, that's so cool. What are those people like? I was like, pretty nice, I guess. Pretty awesome. Wait. Can you not interested the Sarah Z video on screen? Okay. But I like Sarah Z, so just, like, live with it. Here, I'll refresh, and it'll be a different video. Okay, there we go. I'm not gonna curate my tastes for you. Sorry, but that's not how it works. You curate your tastes for me. I'm the alpha. I'm the big dog. Woof woof. Bark bark. Hey. So, do we want to do an introduction to transmaxing real quick? Is anyone like unfamiliar with what transmaxing is? It's basically the practice of, like, you're an incel, you want sex, so you turn transgender is the wrong word, but you transition. You transition, and in so doing, like, you're supposed to increase your likability to the opposite sex. Or I guess the same sex now. Again, it's a very blurry gray area, right? Incels are always doing shit to try and get girlfriends, which is like, you know, I think incels are like gross and nasty a lot of the time, but like doing a funny hijinks to try and get girlfriends is a little bit, I don't know, man, cartoon character to cartoon character, like, I picture Ed, and Eddie sitting around being like, so how are we gonna get girlfriends today, boys? You know? I've never watched Ed, and Eddie, to be honest. Well, this stream isn't for me, but I'm open to seeing other people's, yeah, exactly, we're like doing a knowledge exchange kind of thing. And to be honest with you, like, I know that some of the folks, so you mean can't get a girlfriend, so become the girlfriend. Exactly. Like Bane, you know? I am the dark or whatever. My favorite cartoon show. Now I'm curious if they ever cross-dressed. Probably. Ed, and Eddie were doing a bunch of silly, goofy stuff. Anyway, speaking of silly, goofy stuff, like, the pure essence of being an incel, I don't think is revolting to me. I think, like, getting up to wacky hijinks in order to have, like, consensual, loving sex, is pretty much fine. You know? Do you, right? So, okay, first of all, wood. Yes. Thank you. I'm like, they show the thumbnail on the Twitter post. Let's find the Twitter post again. Hey, who wants to play Twitter roulette? They're so scared in the Twitter post. Where is it? Cool, neither of those had their tits out. Not porn. They showed the thumbnail and I'm like, okay. Yeah, cute, nice. It's cool, great work. I say thumbs up to that. I think this is awesome. This is like, okay, my initial response to this was, hold on, where is it? Meh. Whatever. Anyway. This is good, actually. Less ugly boys, more pretty girls. And that's, like, that is my thesis for this. Like, okay, I'm not saying he was ugly. Not my type, certainly. But, like, you know, there are ways to sort of work with the face that you have. Speaking as someone who has a face, you know, the only solution is not to radically change your entire gender presentation. But Smash.
I'll tell you everything you need to know to stop being an incel and become a girl instead. I will tell you exactly how I did it and what I learned along the way, as well as what I would do differently if I could start over. In this first video, we'll figure out how to best start your transition. Before we do that, however, let's quickly go over the most common transition steps so all of you can get an idea of how your route to womanhood might look like. You will...
I like the... So, listen. It's honest. It's upfront. They say, hey, listen. What do we call... Like, what are this person's pronouns? Hang on. Lamedo.
Hi, guys.
An insider's perspective. Wow, there's actually so many of these videos. We need to talk about... Look, she even did her hair here. This is nice. What are your pronouns, friend? Hi guys, Tina. I make videos about transmaxing for business inquiries. No, yeah, let's join the Discord. Let's not all join the Discord because that's abuse and let's not do it, but I can join the Discord. Pronouns. Oh, perfect. Where's Tina? Pronoun picker. And where's Tina? T. Tina? G. T. The mod of this channel is called Nuka-Cola. Awake but not woke. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, they're talking about detransition stuff in here. This is good. This is background research, basically. We're figuring this out. Awake but not woke. Why would you buy an awake but not woke t-shirt, though? I'm just seeing people's t-shirts, really. Okay. This is difficult. I don't think I'm going to be able to find their pronouns, so I'm just going to say they. Lil Motto.
Hi, guys.
And like, this is... Oh, shit! Wait! Dreg is here? Bro, I remember Dreg. That's so fun. Well, good for Dreg. I mean, I want to hear her perspective.
Want to get a female voice. That can be done either by voice training or if that fails you, voice feminization surgery. You will also want to remove your beard hair somehow. There are plenty of options for that, but more on that later. You will want to undergo hormone replacement therapy. That will remove testosterone from your blood and replace it with estrogen so that female body features like breasts can develop.
I also, there's something I feel like I missed out on conceptually, not having my endocrinologist be like a German mad scientist, you know what I mean? This is what this is, right? Like, this is, I have discovered the cure to not having sex, you know? This is a German mad scientist.
Those basics covered, you might want to consider various surgeries available to trans women. Facial feminization surgery is the favorite for most. And that's the gist of it, really. Everything will be covered later in detail, don't worry, but for now, let's figure out where to start exactly. Well, I wish there were an easy answer to this question, but it's a bit complicated. Back when I started, I followed Ventology's 13-step guide on how to transmax. It can be found in the
Okay, wait, let's read this. Begin voice training so you will get a female voice. That was not my journey. Watch sorry. Yamada-kun to 7 nin no majo. Okay, wait. Interesting. Yeah, five of these steps are watch anime. 6 of these steps are watch anime. 7 is play video games, but have a female character. Go to a gender clinic if you need an official diagnosis. Bank your sperm. Start hormone replacement therapy. Remove unwanted hair. Facial feminization surgery if needed.
TRANSMAXXING manifesto and will be linked in the description.
Wait, hang on. What does that line say?
Starting
Social transition can be done earlier if you live in an environment supportive of it. So this is also like this is a guide. This is a guide that presumes stealthing as a valid end goal, which is pretty awesome. That's an interesting take. Toby fall over and cry, and I don't know why. Watch Rachel Vermington, yeah. Step 2, watch Rachel. If you still don't want to become a girl, watch watch lesbian porn. I don't know, man. Played with the female character in games when I was a kid and turned it into a guy, so step 7 is suspect at best. I know, right? I mean, there are things that resonate with me here. I actually went to the gender clinic and got an official diagnosis first, so I was doing this all out of order. I'd never banked my sperm because it's like $7,000 a year. I don't have $7,000 a year to freeze my weird pee, dude. No, thank you. Use the pink Master Chief skin. Honestly, even as like a little boy, I was like, I want to play as Ash Ketchum. So I would choose the guy in Pokemon's. Toby. Hold on, Toby's having a little cry. You know he wants a little hug from his mommy. Bobo. Hey, buddy. He's been just pooping all over the place. Like, he's got his litter box. And it's completely empty and clean, save for like a few accidental poops, you know? Toby. Bank your sperm in your homies. Exactly. Have illegitimate children. That was my first step. Have illegitimate children at 17. I was such a rock star when I was a kid. I would have sex with women all the time. Anyway,
voice training immediately. Believe it or not, that's exactly what I did. And as you might be able to tell, it's one of those things I would do differently if I could start over. Let me explain why. It's all about the relationship between motivation and frustration. You see, when beginning voice training, you will probably be very motivated. That's good. The problem is that most people do not have access to the best voice training resources they could get right away. For example, in Germany, a trans woman can begin voice training with a speech-language pathologist, theoretically even before...
hang on. Let me double check something real quick. Is that bad? That's pretty bad. Is that bad? That's pretty bad. Signal to noise ratio, man, I hate it.
For HRT or psychotherapy. It only takes a specific form filled out by your general practitioner. The reason I said theoretically is because everyone I asked about that said that their GP required a preliminary diagnosis from a psychologist, at least. So in practice, you cannot start training with a healthcare system approved professional before you have a diagnosis. Of course, for this to be a good example, we must assume that training with a professional is better than training with YouTube videos and online resources alone. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that if you start immediately with whatever you have access to now, it might cause your motivation to fade into frustration due to lack of progress.
Hi, Bobby.
Progress you might have otherwise been able to make right away if you had started out with pro to teach you. And that is the problem. Starting out immediately is a great idea if you happen to be a natural. You will make progress fast and derive motivation from the quick progress, leading to more progress, which will ultimately result in you getting a passable female voice to try out being a woman on the internet before committing to HRT and the like. If, however, you're like me, not a natural, then it might take a long time to see any progress at all. And as you train for longer and longer without
I would believe the video if they follow their training. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like, every voice is different. I've started voice training. I'm not very good so far, but, voice training was something I started in, like, year 4 of my transition. But that was also when I came out a little more socially. And, I mean, it's the way that I do it, and I don't think this is necessarily a good way of doing it, is I have sort of a trigger phrase where if I say this set of words in this tone, it helps me to orient my voice. But the very basic lesson I was given was, "Hi Toby, do you want to sweep?" I'm now. I have to get back to my dude register, which barely exists anymore. One of the things that, like, helps me feel good about having a gender is that, like, it's legitimately difficult for me to return to my natural register. But so you have your voice down here in the bottom of your throat. This was the instruction I was given, and not necessarily is like what you should follow, but sort of feel the parts of your neck where your voice resonates the most, right? And you would think, like, oh, my voice is making my throat vibrate. That's interesting. But that's actually the opposite, is that your throat is vibrating to create your voice. So you can flex the muscles in your throat to sort of bring that up like a register. And the more that you do it, the stronger the muscles get, then the more natural it is for you. And the trigger phrase that I started out with, a lot of trans women start out with, they say, wow. Sorry, I also smoke a lot of weed. So, it's hard. Heat from fire, fire from heat. My name's Rachel Girlmeat, and I lost my place in this video.
trying to make is that if you start immediately with whatever you have access to now, it might cause your motivation to fade into frustration due to lack of progress. Progress you might have otherwise been able to make, by the way, if you had started out with pro to teach you. And that is the problem. Starting out immediately is a great idea if you happen to be a natural. You will make progress fast and derive motivation from the quick progress, leading to more progress, which will ultimately result in you getting a passable female voice to try out being a woman on the internet before committing to HRT and the like. If, however, you're like me, not a natural, then it might take a long time to see any progress at all. And as you train for longer and longer without making any significant progress, frustration will build up and slow your progress down even further, as it instills a feeling of being a failure in you every time you try to train.
This is absolutely, I mean, like, she's right on the money with this one. Like, this is short-term dopamine response, right? Like, this is, and this was something that I experienced too when I started voice training. I was like, I'm not going to focus on it because if this sucks, and I want to just be able to do it naturally. And a lot of transition is going to be like that, sort of like getting over those hurdles of like, this sucks, I don't want to be going through puberty again. And then recognizing like the changes in your body and your face and yourself that come along with it, right? Same thing as going to the gym. I think that was something I struggled with a lot during my early transition. I think you can sort of, I mean, there's really something there's certainly yeah, exactly, trying out being a female on the internet. There's certainly an amount of like being trans that's like getting over these hurdles of is this what I really want? Dysphoria and then euphoria, right? For me, that happened several times before I was like, yes, this is what I want. And so in that, I sympathize, because I think the feeling that they're describing currently is very similar to gender dysphoria. And I wouldn't necessarily. My whole thesis here is like, if you're an incel, and your first idea to like have sex is like, what if I become a woman? Then there's something that's already kind of going on there. That's my theory. Like, I'm not saying there certainly aren't people who take the role predatorily, but like, I think assuming that many trans people were predators is sort of what got us into a lot of this mess in the first place. To put it, to sort of put a head in something about nails and heads. Always hope these people find trans peers and realize it's a common trans experience. Exactly. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm like speaking on this normally instead of not normally. Let's continue.
Will then result in a reluctance to do voice training at all. And that state of being effectively unable to practice due to the negative emotions that practicing induces is what you should avoid at all costs. I'm on my third voice trainer by now, and having to unlearn everything I learned 3 times over